Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Raids, week 33, day 7. So of course we are done with the raids and I believe we're almost done with evasions at this point too. We can go get our shiny orb. Yep, actually we got both of them done. However, we got a lot of spoilers to go over and I still need to go get some leveling on Dervish and go get that thing to 100 as well as all the other hero classes. Want to try getting them done by midway through this month, by the end of Vault event, which is the 19th. When that is happening next. But however, let's go over all the things that we have this week because we have 1.5 billion things. So we'll go to that. Before I do, let's say hello to all the peoples. Hello Bill, hello Cookie, hello Birdleaf, hello Drock Savage, hello Gustavo, hello Henrik. Let's see what we're asking. You got the 2020-21 for 400 gems. Yes, it is always worth it if you need event keys. It is always worth it to get that one if and only if you need event keys, because it comes out to a really good gem value gain. If you don't need event keys, it's really bad value. But if you do still need event keys and you're planning on getting event keys at some point to go get stuff, like for example the new legendary that's coming out tomorrow, it'd be a good idea to pretty much always pick them up. Like if you ever hit 0 event keys, you should be buying the 400 gem pack whenever you see it, or you know the 20-20-21, the 20 event key, 20 gem key, 20 glory key. But yes, it is always worth it if and only if you need event keys. In which case it is never worth it if you don't need event keys. Some people have more event keys than they ever know what to do with. As you can see by 7,000. But good majority of people probably still need them. And if you do, then it's worth going for every time. Let's see. Unless you need gems for other things, of course. Let's see. You got Element Grim. Nice. Very nice. Is he any good? He's okay. He's normally used with Infernus, so you can get the best burn in the game to synergize with it, to kind of keep spamming it. Do you think that there's high battles you could replace the last troop in the Goblin team with? Umnef? Which Goblin team? The double truffle one or a 4x Goblin team? Both of them tend to just run for infinite loop and don't necessarily run like a heavier option. Hello, Afsaki? Or Sally? How do you say that name? Alfscally. Welcome. Also, hello, Alanso. Welcome. Hello, Sausage. Hello, Dominic. Oh, also, Alan, so to answer your question earlier, yes, we will probably be streaming Animal Crossing at some point tomorrow. I'll try to fit that in if I can, because it's the first of the month, so it's when Animal Crossing has the most amount of content to really go over. We're also getting a new seasonal change, which would be pretty cool. Anyways, let me say the rest of the hellos, and then we'll get into things. Hello, Pedro. Hello, DeCrell. Let's see. Oh, you asked that question already. Yep. Yeah, we'll be doing Animal Crossing tomorrow. Let's see. Hello, Henrik. You have 330 event keys, but you always need event keys. Yeah, pretty much. It tends to be one of those resources that can go down pretty quick, unless you have like over 1,000 plus. And even then, if you're trying to go for a mythic, you can end up using them all just to try to get one mythic that you really want from a kingdom. Anyways, let's get into these troops already. So as you can see, we got 1.5 billion tabs. We got a lot of stuff coming in next week. If I'm not mistaken, it is math. It is 7 total troops. We are getting 7 new troops next week. 2 new pets. I was actually wrong. It's not 1 new pet. It's 2 new pets. We're getting, here's everything we're getting. 7 new troops. 2 new pets. 1 new weapon. And, of course, we're getting the faction event. So, technically, new faction, new banner, all that stuff. Anyways, so, Swamp Rat. This is the most useless thing that's going to be coming next week. This is the standard glory troop. You can end up getting brown purple arcanes if you want. It deals true damage to the last enemy with a 50% chance to do a additional true damage with the same exact amount based on your magic and everything to the second to last enemy. So basically it just hits the last 2 enemies. Though I wonder if you can actually double hit if there's only 1 left with that. I'm not sure. And then it submerges itself, which is a really weird mechanic just to randomly give to that. But the only slight good thing it has is Swift going for it. However, even if that had Empower, I can't really think of a situation where you'd bother bringing that out. Just does not seem worth it. Actually, I wish they would have given it Empower. Because then you would have a first turn Submerge, which I don't think currently exists. At least not at 100% consistency. So that would actually be pretty cool. Oh, well, other than Undyne, which has Perpetual Submerge Storm. But aside from Undyne, I don't think anything in the game has first turn Submerge, unless I'm forgetting something. So it would have been kind of cool if they gave him Empowered instead. But even if he had Empowered, he'd still probably be useless, since it would just be for the vanity of having a first turn Submerge, which in almost no situation would actually be viable, especially since you can only activate one of them anyways, not all of them. Anyways, this is the rather interesting thing that's coming out tomorrow. It's probably going to seem really underwhelming because most situations you're not going to bother using this. But this will very, very, very situationally be good for Guild Wars. It's basically like Corvash, except slightly different. The Basilisk, it's going to be in the event key drop table all next week, and it won't be available for about a month. So good idea if you have some event keys laying around to try for it. You'll also be able to get all the other normal drops that are in there, so good time to use event keys next week. But anyways, what this does is it deals damage to an enemy, true damage. And if the enemy is poisoned, and then deals double damage. And then it'll deal that damage again to an enemy. And if they are stunned, it'll do double. So this will generally be getting 3 times whatever that number is, mostly because you'll be able to easily get stunned. It's to stun a random enemy whenever matching brown gems. This is really good for getting a lot of stun onto the opposing team. Also keep in mind there's another mythic that has a mythic that has a curse whenever you take a brown. So you could have basically curse and stun spam while taking a bunch of browns. So it's going to be rather interesting, as it is currently the only color that can do it like that, where you take a bunch of a color and then you get them both double disabled like that. The only overlap that currently exists is on brown. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends up panning out, as that will be obviously if something is both cursed and stun. Basically, not only do they have no immunities at all, but all of their traits will be deactivated. And unless they have indestructible like the Dooms, or some of the, like the special events, but as far as player-owned stuff, only the Dooms. Unless they have indestructible, they will everything in the game can be both cursed plus stunned onto it to disable all traits, and that does work on heroes, and that does work on reoccurring traits. So for example, the only current one that's reoccurring is Cedric, or I should say Orpheus. So if you end up stunning that out, it'll also get rid of their cleanse chance. And even if they have immune to stun, even impervious, you can just curse it and then stun it, and then you're good to go. But anyways, the main thing this will be used for is as a Corvash alternative. It has 5% higher score reduction, so it has 30% instead of 25%. Corvash used to have 50%, but this is a little bit closer to what it used to be. But the main premise it's going to be used for is you keep stunning off of brown spam when you're likely doing on something like blue. If you're doing it on blue, you're likely doing it with Apothecary. If you're doing it on brown, you're likely just doing it off a Mountain Crusher or something. And basically, you're going to keep stacking over and over again a bunch of browns, and the entire enemy team will likely be stunned. And then you'll be able to go and get a triple damage, essentially. You get your normal hit and then double on the second hit. And this, in many cases, will hopefully be enough to actually secure a kill. Obviously, it might not be, but based on all of its magic gains, I believe it can end up reaching kill range. Let me actually double check if we have... let me see how much it actually gets for its damage. Yes, it does have full damage based on magic. So whatever your magic is what it basically will be hitting. So that's still a pretty hefty amount of damage. So if we check that real quick, what is my magic right now? Also, I'm going to be getting another magic tomorrow due to Darkstone, which we have all the kingdoms leveled to 15, which would be pretty cool as of tomorrow. But anyways, as far as magic, our current magic is at... oh, wait, never mind. This will be a bad way to tell. What is the easiest way to tell what your magic stat is? I guess check bonuses. So our magic is currently the max amount that we could get is 20, because I'll have that tomorrow. 4 for that, so 24, 25, and then we could set another 12. So 25, 37. Yeah, you could. So we have 25, which would normally be 75 damage, which is already pretty hefty. Also, keep in mind in Guild War, you can also get even more. But so off of that, we could end up getting a 75. And then if we set that extra 12, we would end up getting... what is that? 111? Did I do the math right on that? I feel like I did. I believe that's 111 damage they can end up getting. So yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to see how that pans out. 111 damage within Guild Wars, plus the extra Guild War damage that you would have, would be enough to one-shot pretty much everything. So yeah, it'll be basically a one-shot Corvash. Instead of getting a double mana drain, like Corvash does with a little bit of a true damage poke, it instead gets to kill out one entire enemy, most likely. You do have to be careful what your damage is and set more magic if you don't have enough to kill everything on the opposing team. But that's basically what it's going to be used for. Is a heavy stunning option during Guild War, blue and brown, and with a chance to kill, or a really good chance to kill, which you'd want to make sure it's in kill range before you even do. And yeah, you'd just be able to get one shots instead of double mana drain like a Corvash would. It's basically just alternative Corvash for that purpose. Will it actually be used in that many Guild War teams? We'll have to see. I feel like it's going to be more viable on Blue Day than it will be on Brown. However, obviously it is viable on both those 2 days. The main reason I say that is on Brown Day, people will counter Brown. However, on Blue Day, people will not counter Brown. So you'll be able to go, or most likely wouldn't counter Brown. So it'd be a lot more likely that you'd be able to get away with using Basilisk on Blue Day compared to Brown. Anyways, we got a bunch of other things to show. Next up, let's go over everything that's coming in next faction. So we're going to, of course, be getting the standard 4 troops, as always. It's a bunch of dragons. However, it is Blighted Lands, oddly enough. They're all kind of like Daemon dragons, essentially. But it is Blighted Lands, not actually Dragon's Claw. Which would be good, because hopefully Dragon's Claw will get even cooler dragons. And it better get dragons. That'd be really bad if it does like almost what a Stormheim did, where it end up getting like a bunch of not giants. But hopefully whenever Dragon's Claw eventually gets one, it does get dragons, but we'll have to wait and see. Who knows, maybe we'll finally get half mana dragons start. Anyways, 1 second. Water. Anyways, in other news, Fell Dragon. So this will be the epic. One of the easier ones to get, since if you just buy a couple packs, you get one automatically during the event next Friday. What this does is it's a 13 mana cost, yellow-purple, ends up dealing magic plus 5 damage to an enemy, boosted by burning and diseased enemies. This is essentially 100% useless, and you would never use this ever. Okay, moving on. Even in the game mode, I'm pretty sure you would never really touch this thing. The only viable thing it has is Magic Link. Next, Fell Dragon Egg. Ultra rare. Ends up diseasing a random enemy and summoning a Fell Roost troop. And of course, the kingdom's name, or the faction's name, is Fell Roost. So it basically gets to summon one of the 4, or I should say one of the 3, since it can't summon itself. It gets to summon one of the 3 other dragons that are from this Blighted Lands faction. It's pretty reminiscent of that of Dragon Egg, pretty much. It's overall, I would say, a weaker version of it. However, it's set up very similarly to it as far as its overall kit. And the fact that it has a really, really low... actually, it does have a really low attack. Never mind. It actually does have a high attack, so it's going to be a quite a bit lower durability than it then. Because that is going to be quite a bit higher than the egg. So I guess it's a little bit set up different than egg, but obviously it's obviously supposed to be very similar to it. Anyways, as far as the legend, this is one of the only real relevant things that we end up getting from it. It's the Nocturnia. Ends up being a Daemon Dragon, and it gets to deal magic plus 3 heavy true damage, which splash damage, to an enemy. And then it burns and diseases all affected enemies, so basically it's a triple burn and triple disease. And there's a 20% chance it gets to summon a Fell Dragon Egg. Overall, this will not really be used too often. However, it is a heavy splash true damage, which will make it situationally good. With this, you'll be able to go and basically clean up very well with other true damage options. I don't feel like it's really going to be coming out that often, especially since mostly all it does is kind of get like extra resummon. But during some game modes where it's really important to get a resummon, this thing has like a billion different ways to do so. There's 20% chance to summon off the Fell Dragon Egg every cast, and it also has that 50% chance to summon a Fell Dragon Egg with full mana whenever it ends up dying. So it ends up having a lot of chances to end up getting that egg there. Overall, it's pretty similar to that of Dragon Soul, kind of in as far as its trait setup. But it's going to be mostly just used as a heavy splash damage, or heavy true splash damage. This is probably going to be most useful with Tina 9000, I would say. Would you really bring it out that often? Probably not. But that's about the only thing it's really going to be useful for. Triple diseasing also isn't horrifically bad at 100% chance. That's something that can be underestimated a little bit, but that can basically reduce down the amount of mana accumulation that the enemy gets for quite some time. And if you can rush this up pretty quickly, a triple disease at 100% chance is not too bad. It's a little bit weird that it does end up getting the burn, though. Burn does not synergize at all with anything that it does, which was something like Fairy Fire or something. But yeah, it just ends up getting a burn. If nothing else, you can use that for boost ratio with Ella McGrim. However, the fact that Ella McGrim has physical damage and it says true damage wouldn't really work out too well. But could technically work with other burn synergies that exist within the game. If nothing else, it'd probably work best with a triple damage hero, if nothing else. Anyways, but yeah, it's rather average. Nothing like too over the top as far as a legendary troop. It's not like it's going to be like a, it's not a, like a Gob Truffle or wow, I cannot remember the name of the other thing I'm trying to say. It's the thing that normally gets used with Gob Truffle, the thing with 50% elemental. Wow, Mirage Queen. It's not like that strong. It's not going to be like Mirage Queen level. It's not going to be Truffle level, but it's an okay. Definitely slightly above average, but not by much. Anyways, the other one is Undead Drake. This thing's completely useless. It ends up exploding 4 gems and then conjures a Bone Storm. You can maybe end up using this as a little bit of a kind of like a skull spam option. If nothing else, actually I shouldn't say it's completely useless. If I'm not mistaken, it is the cheapest Bone Storm in the entire game. since you don't need to get any traits and you can simply cast it to get it. So I guess it's actually not as useless. I can't really think of too many situations where you would end up using this, though, compared to just using Skyla. Skyla obviously having the perpetual Skullstorm, which, assuming you have her fully traded, is a much better option in every single situation, since you're basically just wasting your slot with this, and it doesn't even get it automatically. But at least it gets a little bit of board clear, so you have a chance of getting some skulls with it. If nothing else, I guess you could kind of use it to try to hit skulls, to try to get more damage during the delves, but I feel like the enemy would end up getting more value out of this than you even would, especially since the enemy would be doing it anyways. So you'd already have, on the first and final battle, you already have Bone Storm. So I really don't feel like you'd get much value out of it. Pure Faction for this place is going to be kind of weird, but you're basically going to have to spam the Legend quite a bit. Honestly, Pure Faction might even be 4 times the Legend, mostly because you end up getting the egg at a 50% chance when it dies at full mana, and you'll kind of be able to utilize that. But yeah, it's not that good of a faction overall as far as what we're going to be getting. But it is for Blighted Lands. This is kind of relevant in the same kind of way that All-Seeing Eye is relevant, in the sake that you might be getting it upgraded to simply and getting stuff from the kingdom just to be able to go and upgrade things. Mirrored Halls is like that, or sorry, not Mirrored Halls, but the Silver Necropalace is like that to try to give it Silver Glade. All-Seeing Eye is like that for Darkstone. And this will be the same thing for Blighted Lands, where you basically want to go and get the troops simply to go get that level 10 magic, if assuming you already have the mythic from the kingdom. And of course that would be from Blighted Lands. But yeah, and if nothing else, we'll be moving closer to 20 stars, which, how close do we actually get? We're getting 4 new troops, so that'll bring us to 19. Similarly, not all the way there yet, but yeah, it'll bring you really, really close to the eventual 20s. Oh wait, sorry, wrong level. 17, my bad. Wrong level. But yeah, I'll end up bringing it to 17. But still a little bit closer, and if nothing else, makes getting 10 a lot easier, assuming you already have the mythic. Anyways, oh, I got a pet here. Do I already have it max? I already have it max. We might just ignore it. Anyways, I'm still not done going over stuff because we still have more things. So, the weapon. This is the weapon that we're going to be getting next Friday. Ends up giving magic +1, armor, boosted by burning and disease enemies. This, similar to that other thing, will basically never be used because its boost ratio is so pointless. And then it gets to burn all enemies, or disease all enemies. And yeah, that's pretty bad overall. Doesn't have any kind of like extra turn or anything on it. Even if it did, it probably would still be so situational that you'd almost never use it. And overall, it's just going to be completely dead content as far as actually using it. You might want to get it for completionist sake, just to have it, since you'd probably be getting it anyways if you're going pretty far into the faction. And if you're going for pure faction, you'll definitely have it, obviously. But overall, as far as actually using it, you'd probably never touch this weapon for the most part. But yeah, you would definitely run at least 3 of the legend for the final battle, possibly even all 4. It would depend how it really pans out. But pretty much just spamming the legends the way to go. And lastly, or at least lastly, we have 2 new pets coming out next week. Not just 1, but 2. Well, technically only 1 real one. The other one's the faction one. But of course, on Wednesday, we will be getting a new snake pet. This will end up bringing in a Mr. Scales bonus, which synergizes with the weekly event. That also means we have Assassin on Thursday. And Tuesday is... Actually, I forget what Tuesday faction event is. Tuesday's faction event is... Fangmore? Pretty sure that's Fangmore. Yes, Fangmore. Aha! I got it. But yeah, Tuesday we'll have Fangmore. Wednesday we'll have this new pet for Mr. Scales bonus. Thursday we'll have Assassin. And Friday, of course, we have the new faction that we just went over all those dragons for. And with that new faction, we also get this pet, which is really adorable. So yeah, we're getting this snake on Wednesday, which I absolutely love as well. I might start using this. It is Venoxia. Venoxia has not been meta for ages. Venoxia, when the game first started, was actually pretty meta. Not like Crimson Bat level meta, but once Crimson Bat kind of got nerfed a little bit, Venoxia started to make a comeback and was like, oh yeah, you could just use Venoxia now. But then it eventually just like completely died out after like the first half a year of the game, and has never really become viable since, for the most part. But yeah, we get a cute little pet of it, which is adorable. And then on Friday, this is the faction pet that you end up getting. If you get at least 2,000 renown for the new faction coming out this Friday, you'll end up getting this small little dragon and an egg, which is also pretty adorable. Anyways, in other news, I believe that's everything then. Just we'll check, but I'm pretty sure that's all the things. Let's see. Monday we have our normal event stuff. Tuesday we have, and of course we have Guild Wars going on all throughout next week. Tuesday we have the faction, which I mentioned, which is Fangmore. Wednesday we have the little Swampy, little Venoxia, mini Venoxia. Thursday's Assassin. Friday's Faction. And yep, that's everything. That is an everything. Ah, there we go. That's all the things. As you can see, we got a lot of things going on, to say the least. Anyways, let's go clear through some dailies, and then we'll go hand out code. And then I need to go power level this this hero class. Still trying to get them up, so we never have to do it again. Trying to do it before next patch. Next patch, no official date, but it's likely late June or early July. So we can look forward to that very soon. Let's see. I'll take that for now. If anyone has any other questions or anything I missed, let me know. And I'll make sure to go over it all. But it's nice that we're getting more dragon troops. Dragons have been off meta for a while now. About 2 to 4 years into the game, dragons were most meta. The biggest thing that killed it was probably Submerge, but even a little bit before Submerge, they were starting to fall off. Kind of sad that they're not meta anymore. All we really need is half mana dragon start to kind of bring them back a little bit, but even then I don't feel like it'll fully bring them back. Also, I discussed with them adding some kind of dragon troop in the past of my character. I wonder if they will ever still do that. It'd be pretty funny if they did. Because if they haven't already done it, we're obviously giving it 50% dragon start. We need it. It's not going to be overpowered. We can get it, and dragons probably still won't be meta. Unless we get some kind of other dragon that can start bringing them back in. The Worldbreaker wouldn't be too bad with 50% mana start. The biggest issue he has is his high mana cost. And that initial 50% would kind of bring him down to Gorgolfa. Because it basically makes him the same cost as Gorgolfa at that point. And if Daemons still don't have 50% at that point, you basically just got yourself a full AoE damage Gorgolfa. However, once Daemons get 50%, then Gorgolfa's going to be used a lot more whenever that happens. Gorgolfa has been off meta for about as long as dragons have, because they kind of synergize together pretty well, oddly enough. But Gorgolfa and dragons haven't been meta for about the last 2 years, 2.5 years or so. You can still use it, obviously. They're still decent, but they haven't been as strong as other options lately. However, if Daemons ever get 50% mana start, Gorgolfa might immediately come back. Especially if whatever that Daemon start troop is actually not that bad. Like some kind of skull spam thing, or some kind of full AoE, or something decent. Okay, this is definitely going to take at least double cast to get things rolling. Actually, it might even take triple cast unless we get like some kind of skull poke in there. Okay, well, he took my skull poke. I guess we're going to just have to triple cast. Also, speaking of things that used to be meta that haven't been for ages, hello, Silent One. I remember when you were the most annoying troop in the entire game. Not that he isn't still annoying, but he's a lot less so than he was in the past. At one point, he was so strong, whoever cast Silent One first won the battle. It's pretty much was the whole meta at one point. It was whoever cast Silent One first wins. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Get that going. And already dead. I do wish we had another troop that was kind of like Silent One, though. Like an anti-magic troop. Because the whole premise of Silent One was a really high attack value while having silence. So if we could eventually get like an insanely good silencing troop that has triple damage on skull to silenced enemies, would be a pretty nice addition to the game. Because when Silent One first came out, he actually had the highest space attack in the entire game at one point. He doesn't currently. Actually, I don't even think he's top 10%, oddly enough. Like, I think he's like 6 to 8 attack lower than the highest, maybe even more than that. But at one point, Silent One did have the highest base attack in the game, but then ended up changing. It's kind of disappointing that he's not anymore, or the fact that he doesn't have double or triple damage on silence, which would be a much better ability than what he currently has for his final, which I believe is just silence on skull, which is pretty underwhelming. So hello, Casey, welcome. And hello, Curtis, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Essence of Evil is really nice. I personally don't use it too much, but it's a great disable option. I normally prefer going Mountain Crusher just for the higher amount of mana accumulation. But Essence of Evil pretty much just disables whatever you touch. It gets a little bit less mana, but you get a much bigger impact from the actual ability itself. And as always, as you saw there, make sure to always get the dungeon offer on Sundays. It is always worth it on Sundays, regardless of what point in the game you're in. 50 gems is for 80 diamonds alone is enough. But on top of that, you get Celestial, 2 gem keys, 500 souls, and basically 4 more diamonds. So pretty good value overall. And definitely always worth going for, only on Sundays. You could theoretically go for it every day, but only on Sundays is the 50 gem offer for it really worth it. Anyways, what was I about to go do? I was about to go and, I guess we'll go do the pet. But before I do, let me go hand out code, and then we'll go mess with the pet. Obviously, we don't need it for the pet itself, but we'll go get some pet food. And go upgrade our pets later. Actually, I might go upgrade all of our pets on stream right now. I haven't upgraded pets in a while, and I feel like we have enough food that we can do that some. Okay, let me go use this code. It's either this one or the one below. I'll find out in a moment. Also, that reminds me, I need to go ask Salty for more codes. I should probably do that tonight, and then remind her a billion times tomorrow. Okay, this should be the next code. Because I actually don't have enough to last all next week. I could stretch it to last till about Saturday or so. With how many we currently have. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. What did I just do? What? Wait, what? I'm confused as to what just happened. Okay. Strange. Okay. Why did it not do a thing? Other computer, why are you being so weird? There we go. Anyways, there you guys go. That should be the right code. And here's the redeem code. You use on gemsaward.com with the game code section, or simply click on that link. Gives the same reward as always: 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says in the bottom left corner right over there is what you put in for your invite code. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random letters and numbers, starting with HK. And same reward as always. There you go. It's only usable on PC mobile version, of course. I know, we need to go claim invasion rewards. I'll go do that right now. See what shiny orb we get. So we already got everything from raids this week. But our guild ended up finishing invasions today. So we don't need to do any battles. So let's go get all this. And let's go open that vault key. I did say all the vault keys beyond 200 I would open. And that is a vault key beyond 200. So let's go see what's inside of it. So we got a purple. Anything good here? Come on, purple, blue. Ah, the oranges. We do not want to be seeing all those oranges like that. Okay. That's a little bit unfortunate, but oh well. Anyways. So yeah, we don't need to do anything else there. Boom. Raids, we already finished way earlier this week, of course. Though, just for fun. One more Zugoff versus Zugoff. We gotta do this. This is like the last time we ever get to do this. I can't not do it. There we go. There we go. And we'll get a normal one. Last time we ever get to see this. Because it's probably not happening till like 2 or 3 years ago. Years from now. If we ever even see it again. The Zugoff versus Zugoff during raids. Because the only time it could ever happen is during a Karkaroff event. And given that raids will eventually be a weekend-long event, that will barely ever occur. It's going to take forever until it rolls back around again. Anyways, but there we go. But yeah, we won't be able to see that ever again. Or at least not for a long, long while. The Zugoff versus Zugoff. Anyways. Next thing. There's one other thing I wanted to go do, and I could believe. Oh yeah, duh, pet. Let me go do that before the timer. I knew there was one thing I was forgetting. Oh gosh, I still have night set to this. That is from ages ago. Gosh, how long ago did we upgrade night? That was very, very long ago. I think it was like 2 months? 3 months? It was one of the weaker ones, so it was a little bit more recent. We'll easily be able to get it done in 8 minutes. That's 1 minute per battle, which is way more than enough time. Only one that can occasionally take longer than that is the last 2. I'm actually going to take the skull to kill that then. Just make sure it goes down. Even though the others were Hunter's Mark, we technically could have taken it too. But just in case. Also, hello Liz! Welcome! Don't forget to go get the code. Still recent enough that it's still good. Oh, I just ruined my double extra turn. Oh well. Let's take some green for now. Start getting our mana up that we need. Come on. Get a surge, please. There we go. Oh, you get to be Paragon for the first time this week. Nice. I'm not sure what rank I get to be. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty low. How good or bad did we do last time? I can't even remember. I know for sure we're not Paragon. There we go. Yeah, last 4. We got like 5 minutes left to do it in. I think we'll finish it with 2 minutes to spare. 2 to 3 minutes. Is that enough damage? Should be. Well, the problem is, where's all of our mana that we need? Struggle. Seriously, mana. All the good ones. Where are you? Every single one we need is nowhere to be found. There we go. Thank you, Defiant. Greatly appreciated. And welcome. Okay, I want that green, but I can't take the green. So we shall take that green there. Either way, we give him something. Let's see, we'll grab that for free, grab that for free, get her destroy, get her destroy, get her destroy, keep spamming. Use those key golds. Oh, that's spare gold. Alright, let's go for this again. Should be enough. There we go. Nice lucky skulls into that Hunter's Mark. Let's see, what's our time right now? Oh yeah, we got 4 minutes. We'll finish with 2 minutes remaining then. We'll be fine. Plenty of time. I'm going to do that skull just because I want to bring him to kill range. Unfortunately, that overkilled the first slot there. Doesn't matter that dies since we have infinite resummon and dead. Final battle. We got 3 minutes for it. What are you using for pet rescue? I'm currently using this, which is Cedric, Egg Thief, Skeleton Key with any hero class you want. Though it's quickest with Thief hero class. And Greed. I'm currently using this so we can gain additional gold while we're doing this. It's not the quickest team to be running for this, however, it is the highest gold rate that you can get while you're doing it, while still doing it in a timely manner. I guess you could theoretically bring out the double Cedric build too, but it's too slow for the earlier battles. One of the absolute quickest that you can do is Phoenicia. Phoenicia is actually insanely good at clearing this out. Actually, I believe Phoenicia might still have world record. They're some kind of weird skull spam team. But Phoenicia is, the normal Phoenicia build is actually the quickest thing you could be running for this. The only problem with it is you have to run it with Sun Spear. You can't run it with any other hero class, otherwise you slow down drastically on battle 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Got the pet done with, what, 2 minutes to spare? Yep, 2 minutes to spare. There we go. Okay, next order of business. Let's go do, probably PvP spam then. Because I believe we did every other thing we really need to do. I don't really do daily factions. because we already have, like, infinite shards and infinite everything that we need down there. Like, I don't need any ingots. Shards technically the only thing I need, but, I'm not going overboard on upgrading kingdoms because it just eats up gold. Which we're actually starting to build up a little bit for once. I did donate to the guild this week, right? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I already donated. So yeah, we're actually building up our gold a little bit for once. I feel like we've been so low. Just in case next patch has something, I do want to start bringing that up. Though you'll know if I start power farming gold if there's something relevant for gold next patch. Anyways, next thing we need to go do. We need to go and PvP then. And go start farming up this hero class. And that is actually one of the reasons why I'm maxing out hero classes too. In case we get something grindy next patch that we could focus on. It makes it so we don't have to worry about hero classes. We can get the current grindiest thing out of the way and then get into that. Well, technically the current grindiest thing is trying to get every single troop in the entire game medaled, which is quite literally impossible. There is no one in the entire game that has that done because it's not possible to have it done yet. It takes a very, 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 very long amount of time. And theoretically was made in a way that is quite literally impossible. The devs even said so themselves. They had no intention on anyone actually getting all the way completed with it. But I'm pretty sure someone will try. But it does take a very, very long amount of time. At least in the current state of the game. Trying to get everything medaled. Obviously you only get key troops medaled. Like the ones that get the most amount of value. Rather than trying to go for all of them. If you want to farm class XP in PvP, should you stay on tier 15 and fight the left option? Yes. Will that get you the easiest opponents? Yes. The strategy that we're doing right now is the exact thing you would do. Is you would go into next week, make sure to keep your PvP rating very low. However, do keep in mind, I actually won't be able to do this method next week, and most people won't be able to, because if you participate in Guild Wars, you will not be able to do this method. And the reason for that is Guild Wars counts as PvP battles, and for that reason, assuming you're doing Guild Wars, you will be forced to have to do those. Theoretically, you could just wait until Sunday and do all your Guild War battles Sunday, but obviously I'll be doing them every single day, so I will not be able to use this method, or at least not as effectively next week. So we could still technically do it, but the chance of us finding weaker battles would be reduced if we were to try to do it next week. Simply because we keep gaining PvP rating from Guild Wars. Will you show you the best components to Metal Rowan? What do you mean by that? You would either want to use 3 epic, or sorry, you'd either want to use 6 epics, or 3 ultra rare into 2 epics into 3 epics. And if you really, really want to, though I wouldn't advise, you could also technically do 1 epic, 2 epics, and then 1 Anu. But I'm pretty sure most people just go 3 epics. And you have 2 different ones that you can do, though it doesn't matter which one you do, because it has no effect. Only the rarity of it has any effect on it. What the actual effect of the metal does nothing to it. But yeah, pretty much just using any combination of Arachnia metals or season metals is the best way to get Rowan up. And you would need 6 of them between the 2 of them to do it. You can mix and match it, but you would need 6 between the 2 to fully upgrade a Rowan. She doesn't gain much of a benefit from it, so I wouldn't really consider it high priority. However, most epics gain very little value from being upgraded, and she's one of the few that does. And if you plan on using her a lot, it's probably worth it, because mainly the battles that she gets ran with on are really low stats. So 6 damage might not seem like much, but compared to where you normally run her, 6 damage can be the difference between winning and not winning a battle within a single shot. So it can actually help quite a bit, even though it's not that much. Can you only ever put 3 on a troop? I mean, is 3 the absolute limit? So you can get 3 and 3 more? I'm not sure what you're asking. But basically how medaling works is it has 3 different levels. Well, you can start doing it once you fully maxed out a troop. And it has 3 different levels, bronze, silver, and then gold. It doesn't matter what metals you use for it. However, it is generally advised to run any metal that will give you 100%. And the easiest way to do this is to do 1 of the rarity, 2 of the rarity, and then 1 of the above rarity. The only exception to this is once you start getting to the higher rarity ones, in which case you generally just put 6 of the rarity into it. In the case of epics, legendaries, and mythics, those are generally the way that you're going to go about it, is putting 6 of the rarity into the troop in order to get it maxed, in which case the first level you put in 1 of whatever its rarity is, then 2 of whatever its rarity is, and then 3 of whatever its rarity is. So in the case of Rowan, that'd be 1 Arachnia or Seasons, then 2 Arachnia or Seasons, and then 3 Arachnia or Seasons. Or if you really want to, 1 Metal of Anu. And there we go, we got a new pet. Well, let's go do this one too. Well, we got a pet right into a pet. Back-to-back pets. My guild shall have forever pets. And this is another one we already have upgraded. Oh, we're actually using Phoenicia with this. Sure, why not? I need to have less XP too. The problem is without using Sun Spear, it goes a lot slower. Like for these earlier battles, it's really quick. But for the later ones, it's going to slow down drastically once we don't have one shot anymore. Might even need to switch to Sun Spear for the last 3 battles. But I'm not sure what currently has world record for quickest pet battles. I know Phoenicia is extremely quick for it if you're using Sun Spear the whole time. It's a little bit slower if we have to switch hero class, of course. It's either this or some Skull Spam team that probably has the quickest record for it currently. Skull Spam always is pretty broken for killing things quick if you get really lucky with it, but it requires a lot amount of luck. Or just has a higher consistency for any kind of battle. As I say that, we fail the full mana. Oh, it's already not one-shotting? That's problematic. Alright, we already have to switch to Sun Spear. So no more XP for you. And I was going to require a double shot. I didn't go for the skull. Oh, that's good for us. So we need a Perpetual Red Storm, because battles will definitely go a little bit deeper. Ideally, it probably would have been better to save that Leprechaun, because we were already so close to mana. Let's match. Oh yeah, I forgot to change my metals to magic. I was gonna say, why am I not one-shotting? I knew that I should have one-shotted longer. But yeah, I forgot to switch to magic. You do need to switch to magic for this, of course. Plus 12 magic is what you want to run with. Oh, I misclicked that. Should be fine without it at this point, though. Or I did so many without it that I might as well go all the way. But you do want to run this with 12 magic, and if you don't have that, 20% mana start into 8 magic. The only thing you would get mana on, though, is your first slot. So you generally want to run 12 magic. Pretty much whenever you want to use Phoenicia, you want to do 12 magic. Honestly, I would not get her if you don't have some amount of those magic medals. And ideally 3 full ones. Though that does take forever to grind. Because that's when she really shines. It's when she has all that extra magic. As you can see, we actually take 3 shots if you don't have the extra magic here. Where she would get it done in 2 consistently, if you did have it. That's not too much longer. There we go. Anyways. Well, that's what it looks like if you don't have any magic medals while using Phoenicia. Still pretty quick. Anyways, so, back to where we were. Before we got distracted by a pet that we found. Oh, did I claim the pet? Oh yeah, I claimed it. But I feel like I didn't claim it. I literally just claimed it. It's like, wait, did I claim it? The shortest of short-term memory. Hello, Scout Tank. Welcome. If we can ever find a weak battle, there we go. So when you reach gold level, you can't put more medals in? No. You cannot upgrade any further beyond gold. Should you worry about the specific stats it increases? As far as what the troop ends up gaining for stats, yes, that would basically determine if you do or do not want to upgrade it. Some gain pretty useless stats. For example, Tesla gaining magic does literally nothing. So you would never want to upgrade Tesla because it does quite literally nothing. because if you get more magic on Tesla, you know, that's pointless because she has no boost ratio based on magic, which is really weird that she's set up like that, but she is. But yeah, you'd want to see what the stats actually are on a given troop. However, in some cases, you might still upgrade it just for the sake of upgrading it if it's something that you'd be using a lot. For example, Leprechaun does not really gain much of a benefit from having higher durability, and all he gains from being metaled is HP and armor. However, having that HP and armor can still be like okay, given that we use them so often, and it can kind of help him not die occasionally. But for most battles, it has no effect on how quickly we win. So even though it's kind of pointless for me to have him metaled, I still have him metaled because we use him so much that might as well. But his metalage does not actually help increase the win of the battle at all. It just makes him not die a little bit easier. Oh yeah, I never did open that vault key. Let me go do that. I did say I would open all vault keys beyond 200. And this will be the first vault key I've opened in... Oh yeah, here's going to be a nice moment. I haven't opened a vault key in about a year and a half, I think. It's been a very long time. Actually, no, it might be a little bit shorter than that because there was a bounty event at some point where I opened a vault key, or two of them, because I wanted to open up to see if we lost loot. And then that's how we found out we actually lost loot for the first time during a vault event, which is actually weird, but you can actually lose loot during a vault event. But anyways, let's go clear this out. We can literally just use what we're already using. So 201 vault keys. Let's go and quick kill it real quick. We don't even need to change our team. This for Wayne quick kill can also work on this, so just throw this at it. And we already got it dead. Alright, let's see what we get. Watch us get the mech gnome immediately. That'd be really funny. Oh, we got an orb. Nice. So we got a useless drop of 100 souls, useless drop of 2,500 gold, a nice little gem key, and an orb. Come on, blue or purple? Aww. That's going to be foreshadowing to all the vault keys we're going to be getting. But yeah, we got a gem key, 2,500 gold, 100 souls, and a orange orb. Why not up the difficulty? Because it has no effect on the loot. Difficulty has currently no effect on loot that you get during a vault event. Don't ever up the difficulty during vaults. It has no effect on loot. Those multipliers that it shows for gold and souls does not actually apply to the loot that you get from gnomes. It only applies to the loot that you get directly from battle. The only thing it would affect is that amount of gold that we get from Leprechaun. It's one of the reasons why I'm hoarding all my vault keys, because they were eventually going to rework it to have higher risk, higher reward kind of difficulty system to it. However, currently the difficulty that shows there has no effect on your loot. But they are planning on eventually adding it. It's the whole reason why we're saving all of our vault keys, if you're ever wondering why I have 200 and haven't been using them for ages. We don't know if it's coming in next patch or not yet, but it could. You never know. That's not confirmation. I don't even think the beta's up yet. So I don't even know. Let me double check. I know the patch notes weren't earlier. I didn't actually check later today, though. Let me see. I was kind of hoping it would be so I could play it some this weekend. But nope, it's not up. Probably will be early next week. Not the patch, but the beta being up. And by early next week, I mean early this week. Come on, Discord, load quicker. Stop being so slow at the computer. Let's see, do we have it yet? Nope, no patch notes. No thing. Come on, Salty. Give it to us. Come on, Salty. Yep, nope. No post yet. Just people posting memes while chatting about random stuff as well within the chat thing. But nope. Still no beta yet. Come on, Salty, give us the code already to get in the beta. Oh, whenever I say they will eventually do something, I normally mean anywheres from 1 to 3 years. I said they would, let's see, what was one of the eventuals that I said and then they eventually did it? Oh, Seal Keys. Remember when I said they would eventually add more troops to Seal Keys? It took them about a year and a half before they ever added more troops. And that was when we got those new guild tasks. And we ended up getting those 6 new ones with those epic tasks. It took about a year and a half. This Valky so far has been about a year and a half. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. No, just kidding. We don't know anything about next patch yet. But it'd be pretty nice if it is the next patch. If you randomly see me stopping opening my vault keys, you'll know why. Even though we just started back up. Let's see. But it's likely something they will still be doing. If it's in the next patch or not. Probably not. If I feel like they would do it during the patch that they rework Treasure Map and Arena. And it's already confirmed that Treasure Map and Arena is being done probably the second to last or last patch of this year. One of the last 3 patches of this year will have it, which means either the October patch, the November patch, or the December patch. Somewhere around that general time frame, we will likely be getting it. The only way you can really get a lot of vault keys consistently is wait till a vault event. Next vault event is on June 19th, and it lasts for 3 days. Basically, a vault event drastically increases the chance of you being able to find gnomes, as well as specifically being able to find vault keys from those gnomes. And during a vault event, you can get dozens upon dozens of vault keys, and be able to farm about 1 every hour or so, which drastically increases the rate at which you can get them. I believe on average it comes out to about 1 every 90 minutes, but you could farm for hours on end and get a bunch. Though you can go a little bit dry even during it, but it's your best time to try to get vault keys is during a vault event. You can still find them outside of vault events, but they are very, very rare. And then the only other ones you get other than that are during other events, like raids, invasions, the Tuesday events for factions, stuff like that. Yeah, 4.0 was really, really large. 5.0 is the first 0.0 patch in about 2 years. It's the longest the game has ever gone without a 0.0 patch. 1.0 was obviously launch. 2.0 was traits. You know, these things. The ones all the way over here. Traits. 3.0 was Guild Wars. 4.0 was factions in the entirety of Underworld. And 5.0, we don't know what the big thing is yet. Soon, TM. But yeah, it's good. It should be pretty big, given how big every other 0.0 was. It's normally extremely meta changing as well, whatever happens during it. Which means I need to cover that other video already. A lot of videos I need to cover. Let's see. Let's get that explosion for now. Already almost melted the entire team. And of course, we'll have the event video up tomorrow, going over everything with the weekly events. I won't be going over all the faction stuff, though. That will save for the Friday of. But everything else going on throughout the week. Oh, and obviously we won't be able to go over Mythic. But basically everything that's not coming out on Friday, I'll be going over on the Monday video. And then on Friday, I'll be going over all the Friday stuff. Which is the new Mythic in the morning. And then we'll do the faction during the stream. And then the video for the faction I'll have either later on Friday or Saturday morning. Though we'll have a stream that goes over it in depth as well. As we go through it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the entirety of 500 on the Friday of. We might. Might split it between Friday and Saturday. We'll see. Though we could probably get it done between the morning Friday stream and the nightly Friday stream. They don't take too long if we're doing some amount of rush method. But it really depends how annoying the layout of the delve is. Or if we want to do entirely no rush. Though given that I don't really need chaos shards, there's not much of a point in doing entire no rush. Unless we were going for leaderboard, which we won't be. They did say no Primal Apocalypse Guardian Kingdom, so a bit wasted on those troops. Well, you'd still use some of those troops occasionally. Apocalypse at some point have been okay. Like, Famine's still not horrifically bad. At one point, he was like the most meta thing in the game. But in the current state of the game, he's not bad. As far as the 4 horsemen, he's probably the most relevant one. So you do still use them occasionally. Also, as far as Primal, you still use Winter Imp occasionally. And Guardian troops are still ever so occasionally used, like Justice and stuff like that. And Royalty. I mean, not Royalty, I mean Loyalty. Royalty, Loyalty, same thing, no, just kidding. They sound pretty similar. So not all of them are a waste to have upgraded. Even if they will never get a kingdom associated to them. So there is still a chance we might get a Vault Kingdom. Not in a traditional sense of a kingdom. But I think they never denied Vault Kingdom. If any of those were to get a kingdom, Vault seems the most likely. Like any of those things that currently aren't a kingdom but has like a kingdom category. Vault's probably the most likely to eventually get one. Though it is possible it never does. And if it does, it would be something completely different than what a normal kingdom is. They could maybe even base some kind of whole mini game around it. Who knows? If anyone still has any other questions, do let me know. Because we'll probably wrap up as soon as we get the next level on Dervish. Which I believe is about 30 battles, I want to say. Yeah. I think I guessed about right. We are, 36? Somewhere around there. Black Holicious? Sure, I can start calling you that if I can remember that. But yeah, it can take a while before you get a hero stat increase. Like, it takes me about an entire year to gain 100 levels to even get one. Post 1,000. Because it took us most of last year to go from 1,400 to 1,500. And this year, it's taken most of this year to get from 1,500 to 1,600. Meaning that it basically takes 1 year to gain one single stat to my hero. Though unless they changed it, you only get stats up to level 2,000. Any level beyond 2,000, I do not believe gives you any stats. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think that someone said you get one every 1,000 after. However, I don't recall them ever saying that in the past. And I don't think anyone has actually gotten to 3,000 yet to confirm. I'm pretty sure no one in the game is level 3,000 yet. Legitimately. There's barely any level 2,000s. They did say they would never add meddling to hero. However, it does seem a little bit weird that there's no way to get like the same icon that all the other troops have. So they might expand out hero in some way, shape, or form into the future. They have made mention that they are likely planning on reworking hero classes. And whatever patch they finally get around to finally reworking hero classes are likely the same patch or we'll end up getting something that will expand out hero classes to some capacity. When that will happen, we have no clue. It seemed like they were going to do it earlier this year, but they never did. So I'm not sure. It seemed like they were going to do it around the time when all hero classes were added to the game. But then they never got around to doing it. So I'm not sure. Gosh, we're getting a lot of pet gnomes today. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th one we found to stream. Hey, we haven't even been grinding PvP the whole time. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Alright, this game will be around for a very long time. It's the most successful game they've ever had, so they're not abandoning it anytime soon. Though I'm still holding out for them to make Puzzle Quest 3. It needs to happen. They need to make Puzzle Quest 3, but make mechanics very similar to Puzzle Quest 1. I feel like they're secretly making it. But who knows? I have no clue what their side projects are, if they even have any side projects. Obviously, Gems of War is their main project. It's been out long enough that they might be having a side project at this point. Because I think this is the longest they've ever gone without making another game. I don't think they've made any games since Gems of War. I can't think of any. And if it was, it probably flopped. Because I can't think of it. But, yeah, have they? I don't think they have. And Gems of War was from 2013. Which means they would have gone 7 years without making a game. Compared to in the past where I think they made one like almost every few years or so. Because I know Puzzle Quest 1 and 2 were only like, I think 3 years away from each other. And many of the other games that they had were, I think, might even be a smaller amount of time between each other. Where can you find Puzzle Quest 1? I'm not sure every location that's at. However, the most definitive edition of it is on Switch only. The HD remake that they released earlier last year is currently only on Switch. And that was released less than a year ago. But as far as it's the normal version, the older version of it, it's available in multiple locations. The main one I'm aware of is Steam. I think it's like $10 on Steam or something. And it probably goes on sale even cheaper if it ever does. But yeah, they made an HD remake of it last year. It's only on Switch though. And there's no announcement as to when it'll come to other consoles. I think they have like a 1 year or 2 year exclusivity deal with Switch or something. Do I have rioting in my area? I'm not even sure. Haven't been out. I think there was some amount. It is Myrtle Beach after all. Actually, I saw something really funny posted on Twitter earlier. There's a, because my area is like a really big tourist area, there's an upside down building near me. That's actually pretty cool. It has a lot of arcade things, a lot of like sciencey things, and actually went there with my friend when he was over in October, a guy from Scotland. But I've had a lot of fun there. But anyways, there's like an upside down building by me. And everyone keeps posting jokes that all the rioting caused the building to get flipped upside down. Obviously not. It's just naturally built that way. It's like a little cool like museum slash arcade slash, I'm not even sure what to call it. It's like a mix of a billion different things, but it's quite literally an upside down building. Not actually, obviously. The inside's all normal. But from the outside, it just looks like a completely upside down building. Let's see. Any other easy ones? And anyways, get a Rowan hit on it. But I feel like everyone forgot about social distancing, as if the virus like doesn't exist. It's still a thing. Still gotta be careful. Let's see. We'll grab that for now. And we'll probably still have to do that for a while. Because it could still be several months before we ever get a cure. Yeah, I haven't been to any fast food places for a while. Actually, the virus ended up making me kind of cut it completely. Because I wasn't for the longest time, and now I'm just like so naturally inclined not eating it that I'm just gonna probably never go back to fast food ever again. I just never start up on it again. Because if I try cheating at any amount, I'm gonna start eating it again. But now that I've gone so long without it, I'm just gonna keep just going without it. The Taco Bell is really good. It'd probably be like the first place I would cheat on. The no fast food thing would probably be a Taco Bell here or there. I feel like it's taking us a little bit longer to repick into low battles though. Not sure why that is. Maybe because it's so close to the end of the week. But in that case, that we should pick in the best battles then. Because all we should be getting is like pretty much low ones then. Since we're already so low. We'd theoretically be the absolute lowest at that point. But maybe it's because the other people move up by then? I'm not sure. Regardless, it changes every single day because people keep moving. But throughout the day, specifically throughout the same few hours that you grind, you will get like rather similar cycles. Like this battle, which we already fought like 3 or 4 times. If I'm ever in a cinnamon mood, I just put a bunch of cinnamon on something. It works on almost everything. There's almost nothing I wouldn't put cinnamon on. Okay, maybe that's not true, but it's cinnamon does make almost everything taste better. A lot of things you can get away with it on. Anyways, guys, does anyone have any other questions? Anything you want me to go over? Anythings? Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be covering the event video at some point tomorrow. And going over pretty much what we went over earlier to stream, but also with whatever's in Soulforge and all that stuff. But yeah, we'll be back then with that video. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time as always, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be messing around with Guild War prep, as well as trying to get more Diabolus levels. And yeah, we'll go from there and see what we can do. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on next week as far as content. Probably the most we've had for quite some time. We got good event key drop table, 2 new troops on Monday, new pet on Wednesday, new pet, new faction, new weapon, new banner, 4 new troops, and new mythic all on Friday. So a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you later. Stay safe out there. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon.